Hang on. Let Mel get in at that end. You do all right, don't
Gentlemen, just a quick word before you all start moving. You now have the chairman's permission to smoke if you so wish. The permission to remove jackets has already been given. The proceedings are going to start in 5 minutes' time. We have taken a lot longer than we planned with the meal. We're going to go through the speeches once we start without a break, so feel free to leave the room at your convenience and make maximum use of waitress service and waiter service to keep this room as full as possible. The Hillcrest manager, and I've never believed him in the past, but he says it works a lot smoother if we all stay in here. There's one other announcement. Is there a John Goodfellow in the house? Yes? The manager of the Hillcrest has a message for you. Okay. Mark, please. Mark, where are you? You can just bear with us, John. Look at the manager. Present.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, and fellow members of the Council, table. It's my pleasure on behalf of Widnes 373 table to welcome you to our 44th charter. I hope you all have had an enjoyable evening so far, and would like to thank you all for our support. Could I ask you to stand and raise your glasses in the usual manner when the name of your table or organisation is called. And we're going to start off with Douglas, Isle of Man 456. Morgan District 412. 856.
Where are you?
You must be at the bar.
It's a grand old table to see, and if you know the history, it's enough to make your heart go. We don't care what the Widnes say, what's the hell do we care? For we only know that there's going to be a show, and the round table will be there.
Liverpool 8.
That's number 9.
Leyland 665. Okay, we've got that table with the peculiar vegetarian now. Liverpool Chilwell 644.
Hey!
Biscuit and District 448. Greenfield and District 1148.
It looks like it's all.
Ramsey and Peel 722.
Last night it was raining, we came on the boat. We had lots of beer and got pissed as a stone.
Fellow tablers, great silence now, wherever he is. Dave, will you come to the front? And Mr. Dave Hood, member of Widnes District Round Table number 373, who will make an attempt at reciting the aims and objects of the movement.
Civic traditions, to recognise the worthiness of all legitimate occupations, and to dignify each his own, and precept and example, to further the establishment of peace and goodwill in international relationships, to further these objects by meeting, lectures, activities and discussions.
I'd like to say well done, Dave, but
So you don't do any public speaking that day?
anyway, chaps, can you all hear this mic? Yeah? What are you answering?
Give us Tony.
We're now on to the serious part of the evening. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, and fellow tablers, it's my pleasure now to introduce to you on this footballing night a man who claims to be Manchester United's biggest fan. Having walked around him at the area rally last month, it's very hard to dispute that claim. A man who has grown in stature as his friendship with Richard the Pieman Waterfield has developed. Our very own, larger-than-life, chairman of Area 8, Langston Manx, proposing a toast to Widnes Round Table number 373, Mr. David Whitehead.
Mr. Chairman of Widnes, Nigel, distinguished guests and fellow tablers, thank you, Bill, for your kind introduction. For those who do not know Bill, he is a man renowned for his generosity, kindness and humour, qualities he disguises so well. I was pleased to accept Nigel's invitation to propose the toast tonight to this round table, considering the approach was made in January 1996. This, of course, was a clever plan, a cunning plan on Nigel's part, even more cunning when you realise that at that time I didn't know him. That, of course, was in no way reflected upon my decision to accept his warm and sincere invitation. So I'm joking, honestly. I have to tell you, though, he has kept me informed of every Widnes event. Again, in January of last year, I received the full and explicit diary of this table for this coming year. Clipped to it was a terse reminder that I had promised to visit Widnes for the first trip of my year as area chairman. I can't remember, and if I could remember it, I couldn't bloody say it. That's the man. Played out of his skull. There were players in the England team that time who were throwing everything at him. The trouble is, it's a pity Bruce Grobbel, I didn't know him at that time. For those of you who know me, and I know there's not many here who do, I'm aware that I know nothing about football. Yes, that's right, I am a Man United fan. As I was coming tonight, I wonder what no one would think about this business with Schmeichel and Ian Wright. I would imagine he would sort it out quietly and with little fuss, just outside the 18-yard line, I would have thought. Nothing further than that, no one, eh? Sorting out on the pitch. I've listened to the radio this week, and the talk has been of Juventus buying Oxford United Football Club, so that the Italian giants can use them as a feeder club. I thought Robert Maxwell tried that, but never mind. The feeder club, a large club, uses smaller clubs for his younger talent. I understand Liverpool have approached that other well-known European side, Everton, to be their feeder club. Of course, gentlemen, there are those worse off. You could be in the second division, or the first division as it's called now, like my other team, Manchester City.
The only tackle he can make is the one that he sells in his fishing shop down the town. The Vice Chairman of Widnes 373, Mr. David Durbin.
Chairman Nigel. Is it tomorrow? Chairman Ian, Worship the Mayor, welcome, distinguished guests. I've been asked tonight to hold a speech by Nigel to say it's been the best of all years. That's my free ale sorted out for tonight anyway. The year started, I'll give you a few insights to this table this year. The year started with a joint meeting with Runcorn Round Table. And what we thought was our first female prospective member. We later found, after removing all their clothes, she was an exotic dancer. Was Nigel right, the best of all years? Our social side at Widnes, as usual, has been very brilliant this year. One thing about Widnes, we always have a brilliant social year. We've had a caravan weekend in the Lake District, paintballing with Runcorn, barbecue at Clem's, treasure hunt organised by Dave Hood, a sports day at Oswald Street, a ladies' night, Halloween fancy dress, a New Year's do, the great early rally at Landon now. Bit of controversy over the fancy dress, but that will be mentioned tonight. Plus many more. I'm finishing with a ball on the 22nd of March. So if you haven't got your tickets, see Glenn. On the fundraising and social side, it's had its ups and downs. We raised £400 at the golf day at Widnes Golf Club. Had a great food collection, giving out just under 200 hampers this year at Christmas to the old early, which was it's great really, because I mean people do this every year and it's always well supported. Giving toys to young children over at the community centre, which was when he came at the pantomime, which was again was a great feat, me being Father Christmas. The one downside to the year was being let down by Morrison's over the Christmas Grotto, which has always been a great fundraiser for Widnes Round Table, but
Morrison's this year let us down a bit. Which brings me to my goals for next year. Like I said, it's been an up and down year this year. It's been great. But again, for my year next year, I've got a few goals which I'd like to mention, which would be again to have a great social year, because I think that's what table's all about, social. To increase our membership, which membership is on the tip of everyone's tongue this year, because membership is the strength of any organisation. And to raise thousands of pounds for local charities with your help. And again, it must have cost Nigel a fortune and John O'Hara for all you lot to be here tonight. But thanks for all coming. It's a great support tonight. And my motto for this year, like Nigel's, is to be the best of the bestest of all years. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for turning up tonight. Thank you very much.
Sorry, Twin Town? Twin Town, Chernobyl. So there can't be much going on there, Frank. He said, oh, it's very active. But you've probably read in the papers the trip ended in tragedy because the deputy mayor was seriously injured. He was run over by a mutant cockroach. Now, my old mate Dave Whitehead, I've given Dave a lot of stick over the years for supporting Manchester United. So I thought tonight I'd redress the balance a bit. Roy Evans just bought a house today. 2 up, 4 down. Alex Ferguson has had a lip reading expert examine the video of the Arsenal-Man United game at Old Trafford. And Ferguson announced to the press today that what Peter Schmeichel really said was, "Your flipping back's blistered." My old mate, Ian. Alex Ferguson went to a prostitute. He said, how much is that? She said, £100 an hour. All right, go on then, I just want the double-double. That's 150. She said, okay, you can have an hour and a half of that. She did everything to him. She stripped him off, she laid him out, rubbed his body with oils, scented bath, followed by full sex. Ferguson was really getting into it. She said, sorry, time's up. You got me, Joel, there's still 10 minutes left on my watch. Eddie Collington, I hope he's going to be alright tonight. He's just been diagnosed as having Alzheimer's disease. He was in the bar downstairs talking to 2 girls. He said, do I come here often? And finally, of course, our guest speaker for tonight, Mr. Norman Hunter, a man who was hard but sporting. He might kick an opponent's bollocks off, but he'd always help him look for them afterwards. You played in a really great team, gentlemen. How they never won more trophies, only Gary Spray can tell you. Gentlemen, you've not come here to listen to me. I'm sure we're all looking forward to listening to our 2 main speakers. So, just before I finish, I'd just like to welcome, particularly, the guests who come over from the Isle of Man. And, in particular, Mike Doolan. Mike, believe it or not, when he was single, he did have difficulty getting a girlfriend. But he met his first girlfriend. He'd been going out for about a month. And he said to his dad, Dad, I'm thinking about marrying Camilla. He said, you can't do that, son. Why not? He said, every bloke in the Isle of Man's out there. Mike said, it's not a very big island. Gentlemen, can I ask my fellow members of Widnes Round Table please to stand and to drink a toast? Come on, there's more of you here. Stand and drink a toast to our visiting tablers and guests. Gentlemen, visiting tablers and guests.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests and fellow tablers, on to our main speaker of the night. We've tried to liaise as best we can in terms of making reference to Norman before he gets up. And with this slight apology for mentioning the unmentionable again, he's the man who earned the frightening nickname during his long and illustrious playing career of Norman Bite Your Legs. But there are two Polish gentlemen who attended a very important World Cup match in October 1973 who wouldn't subscribe to that view. A certain Mr. Godotcha, who I'm sure Norman's going to mention later, was grateful that his legs remained intact in setting up the goal for his colleague Damaski. Where did we get that one from? Which prevented England from going to the 1974 World Cup finals. Not that we're going to dwell on that kind of thing tonight, Norman, with such an impressive CV in front of us. A player who represented his country 28 times over a decade between the mid-60s and 70s, who played in all three European Cup finals, the Cup Winners' Cup, the European Cup and the UEFA Cup, winning the last one of those with Leeds in 1968 and indeed 71. He played in the great Revy team that, as Mark said earlier, should have won more, but we're all glad they didn't. They won the league in 1968-9 and 1973-4. Norman was also in their FA Cup winning side of 1972, I apologise, and he was in a Wembley beaten cup final side on 3 other occasions. Added to that, he played in their League Cup winning side of 1968, and a stat which only he knows and not many others, he was the first ever PFA Player of the Year in 1973. Without more ado, can I introduce, chaps, Norman Hunter.
Good evening, gentlemen. You all right? Excellent. All I'm going to do is just chat about the characters I've met and the situations that I've found myself in over a period of years. There may be the odd swear word. I can assure you it's not meant to offend anybody. It's context of the stories, and after all, it is dressing room language. Unless I mention that fat little bastard Francis Lee. Franny and I had a punch-up on telly not so long ago, you know, but we're all right now. Apparently Franny's a good lad, you know, but he was in the supermarket the other day, and there was this old lady struggling with her shopping in her trolley. So he thought, I'll go over and help her. So he went over and he said, can you manage, love? She said, piss off, I don't want the job either. Quick news flash for you lads. Eric Cantona has been told to keep away from football for 2 years. He just signed for Everton Football Club. Well, that's made fucking Nigel smile anyway. Mind you, gentlemen, isn't it lovely to find a Frenchman that wants to fucking fight? One of the press guys came out with a cracker. He said, I never knew a frog could jump that high. My little mate, Billy Bremner. I rang Billy up. Well, I was going to ask him to come over, but I didn't get Billy. I got Vicky, his missus, and I said, Vicky, can Billy come over to Widnes with me tonight? There's a dinner on. She said, no, Norman, he can't come. She said he was cleaning the butcher cage this afternoon and the fucking door closed on him. Tony Adams was going to come.